You ever watch a game and feel like someone just hit skip on the drama and fast forwarded to the ending you didn't agree to? Sunday gave us two finishes that felt less like football and more like a live action plot twist written by angry gamblers and confused refs. And the internet exploded. The Eagles beat the Lions 16-9 after a late defensive pass interference that looked like it came from another dimension. The Steelers rolled past the Bengals while Kenneth Gainwell suddenly became today's headliner after Jaylen Warren went down. People aren't just mad, they're calling the whole thing rigged. ABC News. Let's start with the play every barstool lawyer and armchair official is still screaming about. Late in the game, A.J. Brown runs a route, the ball sails high, the replay shows contact that, well, it looked soft at best. NBC color commentator Cris Collinsworth threw his hands in the air and called it absolutely terrible. The flag turned what should have been a Detroit punt, a last real shot at a comeback, into an automatic Eagles first down and basically sealed the game. You saw fans' timelines flip from good game to I'm done with the NFL in seconds. ABC News now, I know what you're thinking. Officials see angles you don't. The ref who led the crew explained the call afterward, saying he observed a grab that significantly hindered Brown's opportunity to catch the ball. That's the rulebook rationale, and yes, it's technically defensible. But when the broadcast booth, the crowd, and a million people on social media are stunned, technical defensibility doesn't soothe anyone. The optics matter. And in optics, this one looked bad. SI. Here's the thing. Outrage doesn't exist in a vacuum. Sports gambling changed the backdrop. For years, fans bet on winners and totals. Now you can bet on the exact second a player scores, the number of catches by a nobody, the color of a Gatorade bath. Those bets are tiny explosives sprinkled throughout a game, and when several go off in a single Sunday, people start asking the same ugly question. Who planted the fuse? The NFL has been trying to quiet that debate, sending memos to teams reminding everyone which prop bets are verboten and warning about the integrity risk, but memos don't calm timelines or slow down conspiracy theory engines. ESPN, which brings us to the Bengals-Steelers wrinkle. Jaylen Warren, the usual belle of the backfield ball, left the game with an ankle issue in the third quarter. Kenneth Gainwell stepped in and suddenly had the kind of day that fantasy owners dream about. Heavy usage, big targets, and 2 receiving touchdowns. That's the exact sort of individual stat explosion that feeds prop bet chatter. And people online notice the mismatch between the week's narrative, Warren is the feature back, and what unfolded on the field. Fans flagged everything from lineup notes to odd betting moves and shouted rigged. Whether that's fair is another story. Injuries happen, backups step up, but when it happens next to a controversial officiating call the same day, it looks like gasoline on a hot plate. CBS Sports, let's be honest, suspicion gets fuel from pattern recognition. Over the past year, headlines about prop bet vulnerabilities, regulatory eyes turning toward prediction markets, and even federal probes in other sports have primed the audience to assume the worst the second something weird happens. Opinion pieces and reporting all say similar things. Prop bets are uniquely precarious because one person in one play can swing fortunes. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's a documented vulnerability that leagues and regulators admit exists. So when fans see a late PI flag that feels dubiously called and a backup RB nailed a prop that had eyes on him, the suspicion feels like a logical, if paranoid, conclusion. The Washington Post. But before we sell out the plot to a shadowy cabal of gamblers and refs, remember the messy human stuff. Players get injured, refs make calls in real time with split-second judgments, and narratives get simplified into 280-character verdicts. Detroit's coach and players were visibly crushed. Philly's locker room was exhausted and relieved. Pittsburgh's staff had to pivot when Warren went down. Those are real emotional beats that don't vanish because the internet wants a scandal. The problem is the gap between the possibility of human error and the leap to intentional manipulation. That gap is narrow when trust is already low. Freep.com. So where do we go from here? The league can and is tightening rules around prop bets, leaning on sportsbook partners, and reminding teams of their gambling policies. Regulators in big markets are also asking hard questions about prediction markets and whether certain wagers should even be allowed. Those are policy moves that take months, maybe years, to actually change the fan experience. Meanwhile, the thing that actually restores trust is consistent transparency. Clear explanations from officiating crews, accessible replay logic, timely injury reports, and enforcement that proves bad actors face consequences. Articles and columnists are already demanding bans or heavy limits on props. Whether the NFL can thread that needle without killing a major revenue stream remains the core tension. ESPN, if you're a fan right now, what should you feel? Angry? Sure. Skeptical? Understandable. Cynical enough to swear off the league forever after one weekend? Probably excessive. Sports are messy, and humans are messy on top of that. But messiness is not the same as conspiracy. The real takeaway is this: fans have less faith than they used to, and faith is the currency of sports. Lose that, and nothing, not narrative, not pageantry, not Super Bowl confetti, retains the same shine. And the quieter, scarier takeaway: the more money that flows into micro outcomes, the color of helmets, the exact number of targets, the next touchdown scorer, the more temptation there will be for someone to nudge the story. That's not theoretical. It's the reason regulators, leagues, and journalists keep pushing the conversation from "did they" to "how do we stop it?" The Wall Street Journal. So yeah, Sunday felt rigged to a lot of people. Some of the reasons are legit: an eyebrow-raising PI call, a backup running wild, and a betting landscape that amplifies suspicion. But a dramatic last-second flag doesn't prove collusion, and a backup seizing opportunity doesn't prove fraud. What it does prove is that fans demand answers, leagues need better guardrails, and the rules around micro-betting can't be an afterthought anymore. Here's the last line I can't get out of my head. If you want drama, fine. Give us the theater. But if you want integrity, give us the referee whose calls don't make viewers wonder whether the whole thing was scripted. Until then, every controversial flag and every prop bet winner will feel like someone else already decided the ending.